Hello, it's Andy here and welcome to the channel, the reaction channel, where I listen to all sorts of stuff that I don't really, or I haven't heard of. Often I've heard of the artist but not the particular song, and today is no exception. I've certainly heard of the artist Billie Eilish, who I have a lot of time for. She's done some very interesting, groundbreaking stuff and spawned an awful lot of people who have copied her style. I think this is always a compliment. Today I'm going to be listening to a song called What Was I Made For? And I understand this has been was on the soundtrack of Barbie, and so that'd be interesting. I was never particularly drawn to that film. Perhaps I should have seen it, but I haven't. So I'm very intrigued to know what this is about. So here we go. Billie Eilish, What Was I Made Of? Sorry, What Was I Made For? Sorry. Subtle distinction there.
I used to float, now I just fall down. I used to know, but I'm not sure now what I was made for.
Sweet. It's lovely, lovely sentiment.
Taking a drive, I was an ideal, looked so alive. Turns out I'm not real, just something you paid for. What was I made for?
Those harmonies are very Billie Eilish. Gorgeous, unpredictable, beautifully produced, sensitive, tender, ridiculously simple.
But someday I might. Someday I
I'm going to stop it just there because I'm intrigued by the video. So she's kind of dressed a bit Barbie-like, but what's interesting is that she's playing with these costumes, and I'm assuming this is some metaphor for her past identities. It seems to resonate perhaps her own experience of being a star, right? A star that rose to prominence so fast. And the words are something along the lines of, she used to know life was simple, you kind of knew where you were, you didn't question your identity. And then I reckon, I mean, this probably applies to everyone anyway, but it's somewhat amplified when you have the experience of being a pop star, because everybody wants to rise to prominence in some form or another, even if it's just your social standing or your being accepted amongst the tribe. But when you have a sort of turbo injection or a steroid injection of fame, that ramps that out of all proportion, so that you think it's very clear who you are because you're being told who you are endlessly, but then the real you gets drowned out by the noise of fame. And I'm wondering, I mean, I'm making a lot of assumptions here, and it could completely be wrong. It's a speculation based on what I'm seeing. So anyway, I'll carry on.
And did it end? All the enjoyment, I'm sad again. Don't tell my boyfriend, it's not what he's
Struggling to find out who she is. It's literally falling over in front of her.
What was I made for? 'Cause I
don't know how to feel. That's powerful.
I don't know how to feel, but someday I might. Someday I might.
Battling with the storm and the weather of life.
Think I forgot how to be happy. Something I'm not, but something I can be. Something I wait for. Something I'm made for. Something I'm made for.
Oh, she's back. Oh, on something. Yeah, it's touching. It's a touching film. And a beautifully tender song. Great title too. What was I made for? As if you're trying to seek out who you are. And there are so many records now that the last few that I've reacted to, it's very interesting, have been expressions of frustration and struggles around figuring out life and the meaning of life and who you are and how you fit in the bigger picture, which includes identity, which is at the rock, the foundation of your psyche. It's who you are, who you think you are, and the struggle that brings. And it seems to me, as I was saying earlier, that with someone like Billie Eilish, she's had a steroid injection of that fame, which has caused this. I mean, I'm probably repeating myself. I am. In fact, I'll stop that bit. But it's so interesting that there are so many records now coming out by young artists where the music is somewhat derivative and is not particularly unique or has any kind of novel quality to it in the production. It's just beautifully crafted, but the message becomes the most important thing. It's poetry in that sense. It's a lovely trend amongst writers these days and producers, because I think the producer chops are now taken for granted. In my day, there was so much room for development in the area of how a record would sound. Now it seems to be, well, there must be, of course, lots of different ways to do it still, but these songs are now being carried by not so much the skills of songwriting, but the skills of producing. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, and I'm not suggesting this is not a good, well-written song. I just think that the production is now caught up to speed as part of an integral part of composition is production. Anyway. So yes, a beautiful song, and I'm sure millions of her fans will identify with what she's saying. And that's a great thing, because it means we all feel common humanity, common vulnerability, and we're all in this together. Don't worry. And I like that sentiment a lot. So for now, I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you the next time round. Bye-bye.